Let's continue by making the footprint. To do this, let's first switch to the Project tab, and here let's add another file to this project. So right click the library project, add new to project, PCB library. Now let's save this library. So let's switch back to projects, right click the file, save as, make sure we are in the right folder, and let's name it my lib. Okay, now let's go to the PCB library. Here we also see all the footprints that are in this library, and right now there is inside only one, and as we can see it's blank. The same as the big cross in the schematic library is this sign here. This is the origin. But the footprint for this component is a standard footprint. If we check, it's actually an Ex1.5, and there is a wizard in Altium Designer which allows you to make very easily such standard footprints. To use the wizard, go to Tools, IPC Compliant Footprint Wizard. Okay, first you click Next, then you select the type of footprint you want to create. There are lots of different types, and one of them is Ex1.5 Select this and click Next. Now here are all the dimensions of this footprint, and we have to check if they actually agree with the ones that are in the datasheet. So let's switch to the datasheet. Somewhere towards the end of the datasheet there is usually mechanical data. Here it is, and most of these markings are usually the same as in the Altium Designer wizard. So basically, body width range, we have to check what this actually is. So E1, it's this dimension. Let's check here, E1, yes, it's the same one. So E1 is between 1.3 and 1.8. So we'll just correct this between 1.3 and 1.8. Next one. Most of the pages from here on are okay as they are, so we can just skim through. Here we would like to stop just a little bit. Here we can set the desired density of the PCB. Basically, if you can afford it, the low density is most reliable and easiest to solder. And if you're really pressed for space, you can use high density, but if you can afford, use low density. Next, and next, and next. This will be fine. This will be fine. Here it is usually best to disable the automatic naming and give your own name, the one that you will understand. So let's type Ex1.5. That will be okay for us. Next. Here we select current PCB file, that's fine. We will also produce a 3D step model, which will make a very good looking enclosure, and we want it embedded. So next, and finish. And if we zoom out by holding Ctrl key and scrolling with the mouse. We will see a finished footprint. If we press button 3 on the keyboard, we will see a 3D view. If I hold Shift button and right click the mouse and then I move the mouse, I will be rotating the model, so I see it better. Again, if you hold Ctrl and right click, you will zoom. If you hold Ctrl and scroll the wheel, you'll zoom again. And if you just want to move everything around, right click and just move the mouse. So basically, right click the mouse and hold for moving anything, and with the modifier keys like Shift, Ctrl, you just change the way the things move. They either rotate or zoom or they move. Now press button 2 to switch back to two-dimensional view. Now we just have to save this component, well, this whole library, and now we can go back to the schematic library where our symbol is, and now we can select Add Footprint. Now click Browse. It will automatically select the library which is in the project. In this library there is only one footprint, the one that we just created. Select it and click OK. If we have correctly numbered all the pins on the symbol and also all the pads in the footprint, then pin map does not need any changing. 1 connects to 1, 2 to 2, and so on. The footprint is automatically numbered correctly if you have created it with the wizard. So let's click OK. And now we can check if everything is connected as we think it is by simply clicking every pin on the symbol, and when we do, it highlights the pad on the footprint, and we can now check if they are correct. I will not check because I know they are fine. Let's just save everything. Now our component is completed. Now we just have to create our library. We have created a project, but this is a project for the library, not the library itself. To actually create an integrated library, you have to right click the project and click Compile Integrated Library. After we have done this, the library is also here under all the libraries, and in this library there is just this one component. And now we can go back to the schematic and place it into the schematic. So my lib ZXC300, and that's it.